Rats eat eggs.
Hello, everybody. This podcast is Lava. My name is James Font. With me, as always, Sam Shoemaker, and our very special guest, Chris Pierce.
Well, thank you for having me.
Not to be confused with Chris Evans, or Chris Hemsworth, or Chris Pratt. We're just trying to make sure that we clarify.
Chris Pratt is almost as good looking as Chris.
That's fair.
That's what my mom says.
That's what my mom says.
I had tried to get her to put it on the internet, but she doesn't have internet. That's the problem.
So the reason we have Chris here is he has done many things, and we were going to just brush the surface of this very unique and complicated man.
Just brushing the surface. I'm just brushing the surface.
I like it.
You guys have a budget for those kind of effects? I'm in the right spot.
Yeah. Editor, please insert a brushing effect here.
So how I met Chris was he said it was 14. That was 6 years ago then. When was
I think you were 14 years old. I don't think it was 2014.
Okay, now I'm confused.
Or maybe you were older.
If I was 14, that's still 6 years ago.
That's 8 years ago.
8 years ago. Good Lord.
I was going to say,
You're right. I don't know math. I'm bad at math. I forget that I'm 22 as well. But yeah,
weird.
I met Chris when I was 14 at it was called film camp and put on by the Ridge Project. And what it was is we would go there and make a 30-second commercial for abstinence.
Exactly.
And ours was the best and was voted people's choice. So we should have won, but we didn't. Dang, Red Team won with their good production value.
Yeah. And original songs or something.
And it's something.
They had like Adobe After Effects.
Yeah, there's one year, I remember at Film Count that Chloe Whitlock, she was on one team and she did a song for another team. It was pretty controversial.
That is very controversial.
It was.
Probably almost as controversial as the one girl getting kicked out. I don't know. So many people got kicked out.
There was
because the first year I went, we did it at Taylor University, which was awesome. I loved that. And then they started doing it at a campground, which I didn't love that.
Security was a little bit more lax, shall we say?
Well, no, it was at Taylor's the one that got.
Yeah, we went
out.
from cabins from like condos to cabins.
Yeah, it was really nice to not very nice at all.
So when you guys went to the campground, I actually rented a hotel room. I drove in. Yeah, man, I really
think I knew that because one time
you just wake up all like, "Oh, great morning, hello everyone." All the kids are just like, "I got a stiff neck from the cabin."
It was fine. Taylor University was fine, and the cabins were okay. It's just when you sleep in the room with more than one person that's not Cody, it's loud and restless.
True.
And I remember when we were in the dorms, people were running in the halls, and I forget that, not everybody grew up exactly how I did. That was a good learning experience for me. But the reason I knew Chris and hung out with Chris at film camp was because he was our leader of our group.
I think that's what I was called.
Something like that.
Yeah, I was basically a volunteer.
Yeah.
I came for free, and I read the manual and that kind of thing.
How to make kids not fight.
Yes. How to make videos for dummies.
Something like that. Well,
with dummies or something.
With dummies. How to make videos with dummies.
How to not murder kids when spending week with them. Oh, this is so tough. I can't.
That book would be pretty rough. But so that's how long I've known you. And how do you know Chris, Sam?
I think just through church. I think that was that was like when I actually met you. Right? I don't even remember.
I don't know.
No, I think that was it. You always
maybe it may have been youth group first. To be fair,
that's possible. Yeah, and I think most of our conversations were when you were asking for permission to leave your car behind the building on Sundays.
Right, and to metal detect the property.
Exactly.
And I think you. Well, I don't know if we. No, the other permission was to film in the building.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
I remember that.
And you were helping us with getting ideas for B-roll shots and everything. It was pretty awesome.
That was a fun shot. That was a fun show.
That was a great. Yeah.
I was a part of some of them.
You were gone. I think that was when you were in Montana.
Oh yeah.
And
16.
So we shot that, and I actually still have the footage on a flash drive somewhere, but
you should edit it together.
It did not, and it did not go to the the big screen.
Yeah, it was a bunch of weapons or something, wasn't it?
It was a SEAL Team 6 hostage situation that we were filming in a church building.
Well, to be fair, it's a school building.
That doesn't make it any better. Not in today's culture.
Well, So we've known Chris for a minute, and I met him when I was 14 at a film camp, and then he became the pastor of Christ Community Church.
Right.
Oh, good heavens, how many years ago?
So that would have been 5.5 years ago.
Okay, 5.5 years, and now
I think
he's an electrician.
Yes.
Owns his own business and makes $700,000 a year, and
That's a month.
He rolled. Oh, you were.
Please,
I forgot. You got that was last
He
time.
rolled up here in his two Ferraris.
His two
one
Ferraris.
driven by a chauffeur just to look cool.
It did.
Just so it looks like he showed up with his entourage. So there's 6 people in my house.
Yeah,
just hanging out.
Yeah. Well,
No, get back in the other room. Get back.
Yeah, the one lady's getting her gold tooth put in right now. She's at the dentist.
There we go.
But she'll part of my entourage. Yeah.
So all right, but let's go back to way back, and the question I already posed to you: what did you want to do when you were 12?
All right. So
first of all, what's your history?
Okay, so I grew up outside of Indianapolis, and when I was 12, I think I wanted to be 13.
Yeah,
that was pretty much it. No, actually, when I was 12, it was kind of a crazy story. I was, I literally had this eye disease. I'd gone blind when I was 12 years old in one of my eyes, and I went to a church service, and I got prayed for and literally got this miracle, and my eyesight came back. So when I was 12 years old, I wanted to be an optometrist. I wanted to help people
get their eyesight.
Yeah, exactly. It made sense to me. So when I was 12, I wanted to be an eye doctor, and
that's really
I kind of kept that until, I was about 12 and a half. And then realized I wanted to be a garbage man.
Why is that?
I don't know.
Because you can steal other people's cool stuff.
That's it. No,
that'd be my dream.
He would be. So no, I honestly, I wanted to be an eye doctor all the way through college. I actually started out in college pursuing that and end up going a million miles in a different direction.
So what did you do after college, or what did you do in college, or after college, whatever?
So in college, I was starting out working in toward pre-med, pre-optometry or whatever, and I started working in a genetics lab on the university. I got hired in the genetics lab, and one thing led to the other. They needed someone to shoot video, so I started running a camera and fell in love with that and switched to the film department. So,
he's talking real film.
Yeah, real film. Yeah, actually film. So, my parents were pretty proud of me to make that switch from optometry to film,
which
made a lot of sense.
Optometry, you can definitely make money because everyone needs an optometrist. Film is hit or miss.
I was going to say lots of money, possibly lots of money, but it's a harder industry to break into.
Exactly. And so that was it. And and again, it was just like I was blessed in that. It was during the Seoul Olympics, so it goes back to a long time ago. My very first video I ever shot actually got played at. Man, if you hit this thing, it echoes.
It does.
It's me. I'm sorry.
It's these spring coils, unfortunately.
I like those though. Those are nice. So anyway, I was doing this genetics research. I just turn my head like this most of the. This is really comfortable.
If you're watching the video podcast, you'll understand.
Yeah. So anyway, my first video gig got played at the Seoul Olympics, which was really cool on this big screen. And
what was it?
It was the genetic research we were doing were para athletes like that were Paralympians. So they'd had cerebral palsy or different things like that, and we were trying to figure out trying to figure out what made them be an excellent swimmer, even though they couldn't walk, and we were trying to figure out what the edge was, so maybe it could help someone learn how to walk or something like that. So. Anyway, I shot these hours and hours of video and condensed it down to like a little 2.5 minute thing just of the highlights. And one thing led to the other, and it ended up being played on big screen during the open ceremony, which was pretty cool. I mean, everything
as a film student to go from nothing at all to being shot at the Seoul Olympics.
Yeah, and it was I had no budget. Literally, when I say my budget was, I got free lunch for that project. And it was at Ball State. It was through Ball State University, and it was really a great experience though for me, and then from there it was downhill. I was doing used car commercials for used car lots and hawking carpet and that kind of stuff.
But guy it was with the plaid suit and the
exactly. Hey, I got a deal for you.
Come down to Charlie's Rose Automotive and get whatever you need, man.
Yeah, stacking them deep and selling them cheap, kind of stuff like that all the time. But so anyway, that was it. That's what I actually broke in with a really great opportunity. And
that's something you can put on your resume.
Yeah, it was great for my resume. And I graduated from school, and there wasn't a lot of jobs in video, just freelancing and stuff like that. And I went back and helped my dad, who had a construction company, and work with them, hanging drywall and doing things like that. And my wife was living in Fort Wayne, and I I took an old camera and strapped it to my lawnmower deck and started running over things and like shooting them out the side and made this video. And I sent it to this studio called Above and Beyond, which was sharing a garage, literally a garage with Sweetwater Sound at the time. We were literally started in a garage. It was half Sweetwater Sound, half Above and Beyond. Literally, it was at North American Van Lines. It was a garage door. We had to raise up. We didn't even have a door.
That's so cool.
And I sent them this video anyway of this lawnmower thing, stuff shooting out the side, and they liked it. And they hired me, and I moved to Fort Wayne in a '77 Z28 with everything I owned.
Yeah,
and I had one of my college roommates actually lived. I was like, he goes, I live in Fort Wayne. And it was like good enough for me. I didn't realize Fort Wayne was huge at the time. And I got there and it's like I didn't even know where I was going to work. And you can't Google. I had to look in the phone book to find the address then, and because it didn't exist. And it was like 200 yards. I literally could walk. I could see the building. It was just so cool.
That's awesome.
So I worked there, and my first jobs then there were really cool too because I worked with Mercedes and Volkswagen and Do It Best Hardware and got to travel and do a lot of things. It was really so. I was blessed in that business just right out of the gate, which was really cool. It took a minute to get there, but I just had a lot of great opportunities. So that's kind of, and then everything I did. I was a gaffer, which does lighting. I shot film, video, did different TV commercials.
You edited film.
Yeah.
Did you ever do splicing?
Yeah, I did splicing. Used to. We'd literally have to set with two different three decks, a record deck and two play decks, and we'd lay off the tape onto another tape so we could do effects. And
oh my gosh!
It's like, hey, I was able to do Dissolve today.
Well, like how? This is gonna make me sound dumb. Was Star Wars definitely the first Star Wars was definitely shot on film?
Yep.
So how? They had to spend hours on the lightsabers.
Exactly.
Yep.
They did, and that was.
I think the remakes are better. With the remakes of the first ones. With
when they added like proper lightsaber effects.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about the horrible random animals walking in the background.
Oh yes, the special editions.
Oh. Anyways,
Yeah.
but yeah.
You think about film. Some of that they literally when they paint the pieces of film.
Yeah.
They paint color on that. I mean, that was just
Or,
nuts.
Or like going back to Star Wars, but in a lot of movies, the opening crawl was a hand cranked, piece of paper that they're filming.
Yeah.
Versus now it's like, oh, I'm going to drop in a title. I'm going to type my text in here. Okay, now it says what I want, and I'm going to add an effect to make it look just like Star Wars.
Star Wars effect.
Right. Add this. It literally could be, go download a shortcut that goes into your program and makes it look like Star Wars.
Yeah, I know when we were doing it wasn't long in the business then digital started coming on, and we would like do graphics, and the graphics would look like they'd be so jagged on the edges that we'd have a graphic guy would like just for a name like Blackburn or Green, attorneys for injured people, whatever. They literally like the B for Blackburn. They spend like 2 days like painting all around the edges because we couldn't get clean fonts even.
Oh my god,
that's wild.
And we would like toward the end of my career, I had a Thursday gig with Kroger, so every week I would like get a product. They'd send me a steak or a can of pop or whatever, and I do the product shots for film, and then I would edit the film all night. And I'd have some times where it'd take like 100 hours to render a 3-second shot, or something like that. It's just to render it up. So it was like, give me this digital stuff. It's never going to last. It's terrible.
We're going to go back to analog before
because digital cameras when they first came out were they were like what 5 megapixel.
Yeah,
Even,
if that,
like 2 megapixel. And so you went from these beautiful film shots of it could catch all the landscape for miles and miles and miles, and it was crisp and clear and beautiful to like 6 blocks.
Is that a baby or Mario? I can't tell.
Exactly. And the cost was a big thing too. So, quick story about the film. And after I got into ministry and moved, and kind of moved away from that, I was doing more ministry and teaching stuff. I did some like missions trips where I get hired to do a video. I'd go to Mexico. So I'm traveling in Mexico in this garbage dump and filming some people that were living in this dump. They were supposed to have had funding or whatever to go somewhere else. So we were kind of doing some investigative stuff. So I'm carrying this Betacam, which is the base of the camera was like $65,000. The battery pack and the recorder.
All just sounds like red now.
Yeah. The battery pack and the recorder unit was another $35,000, $40,000. So I'm around $100,000 right there. Then I had a $21,000 lens, and I'm carrying this $100,000 camera, literally that took pictures about as good as,
the first iPhone.
flip phone,
Yeah,
probably.
So imagine like today where you can go on eBay and you can probably buy that for like $100 for the whole thing.
Yeah, exactly. If that, probably can't even give them away hardly.
Yeah.
And anyway, I have $100,000 camera. I'm in this dump, and I literally get tackled and arrested. And the first thing that passes before my eyes was how am I ever going to pay back $100,000 for this camera? Because I was borrowing it from someone. And it was anyway, that was a crazy mission trip thing, and it didn't take, the quality was so. I mean, which is kind of funny.
Did you get the camera back?
I did get the camera back. I was bought out for a couple of bags of groceries, and I think $65. They got me out of jail. So anyway, it's a story for a different time.
Third world countries,
Yeah, exactly. Literally, I was worth a couple bags of groceries, some chicken and.
You're like, I killed 6
fajitas.
people. They gave
they bought me out for some food, but.
My camera's worth more than the groceries.
Yeah.
My camera's worth about as much as this town.
Yeah.
It's sad.
It is. Anyway, so that business has changed so much. I mean, which we're recording on here is, probably, I don't know how valuable that is, but the quality is way, way better than that $100,000 camera.
So that's kind of your illustrious film career.
It is. It's told
in a nutshell. Now, you do need to touch on your Super Bowl commercial. You did shoot. Because you told me a few stories about a Super Bowl commercial. Did you shoot that, or how did that work?
So, Super Bowl commercial. I've done so many commercials. Okay, so Super Bowl commercial was, I didn't shoot it, but I was on a crew for it. I was crew. So, we would, when you work with a big crew, we'd come in with what we'd call basically a big truck. And I on that one, I was a PA on that. So, production assistant, but it was a cool experience. I mean, it really was. I've had so many, it's like I think about the video business and it's such a blur. It's like when, every day was a 20-hour day, it seems like. And everyone was so uptight all the time because they were spending so much money to shoot on film. And it was just like, but it was so cool. Speaking of money, we did have this one video shoot we were doing where we were going to try to make this money fall from the sky. And actually the people underneath it didn't know it was going to fall on them. And they were actually going to get to keep what fall on them. But we didn't realize that the way we had the netting set up, that it was downhill a little bit.
Oh no!
And it literally, like, all the money fell right on top of one guy. he got all of it. It was like such a mess.
That's
we got a lot,
great for him.
Yeah, it was great for him. He got like $15,000 from his bank one thing.
That's
It was like it fell right on his head. And then another.
It killed him. It fell on his head and killed him.
The other thing is we were shooting this commercial for some like package stores, like not a UPS store, but I can't remember the name of it, what it was. And it was called Cookies for Grandma, was a TV commercial. And we were shooting in August a TV commercial for the winter in advance. So we had this snow machine that we'd rented that we had like brought in from California. And we were getting in so much trouble because we were like literally going through Fort Wayne and we were littering the streets with this fake snow. And the police would run us off of one place, and we were like going down side streets and everywhere. And we literally were like, the police were chasing us around because we were like littering white flakes everywhere.
Oh,
and we borrowed a brand new car, and we realized that we had to take the doors off to get the shot right. And my boss ended up getting sued because there were snowflakes in that car everywhere so bad that he ended up having to buy like a $21,000 Chevy Malibu or something like that.
Gosh.
It was a pretty weird thing, but
well,
yeah, it happens. It does. So.
It happens. I can't imagine like filming like a movie where there's like Michael Bay blowing up cars, and they have a limited amount of cars they can blow up.
Exactly.
Where they go and blow up a bunch of cars, and shoot, you didn't say your line right.
Transformers 1, they cut a bus in half, literally. They had a tour bus, and they blew it up so that it blew in half. And then in post, of course, they added a transformer blowing through it. But imagine that, like all right, guys, today's agenda. We have one take. We're blowing up a bus.
Well, I mean,
kaboom.
When it comes to the camera guys and the effects guys, I'm assuming get it right. Most of the time, the first time. Am I wrong?
It depends. I mean, there's so many variables. I mean, like when you're filming, you think about a camera guy running the camera. He's like the DP. He's directing things and doing the camera. He's also got a guy that's literally, because everything's analog. It's mechanical. So you got a guy that you got the camera guy that's got to do his thing to frame things, move the camera right. You got a guy at the same time, if the camera's moving at all, that's actually controlling and racking the focus for him. You got a focus guy on that thing. And then you got a guy that's loading the magazines to put the film in there and stuff like that. So, I mean, literally there's so many opportunities for a mistake.
I guess,
but for the most part, you're right. I mean, most of the mistakes are on the talent.
Yeah.
You know, that's it. Almost always the case. It is.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm talking obviously high level.
Oh yeah.
Because I mean, college students are just going to mess up everything all the time, right?
Hey, who forgot the camera again this week?
Exactly. Yeah.
Dang it, Charlie.
Again?
Yeah. No. Yeah.
So from that career, why did you get out of that?
Okay. So I'm literally living a life that I am like flying all the time. I'm like working on the West Coast, East Coast, and stuff like that. So I had this one period of time where I literally.
Are you married yet at this point?
I am married. Yeah,
okay.
I'm married. And I'm traveling all the time. My wife's a school teacher. Tammy's a teacher, and I have this period, and I may not get the places in the right order, but it's like I flew to San Diego. I got back. I found out I had to drive instantly to shoot this bank commercial in Florida. So I rented this Land Rover, which was really cool, and drove to Florida, shot a commercial, came back. I had to go to the Poconos to shoot a music video for this country band called the Outlaws. While I was there, I flew. I literally laid on the between the biplane wings and shot this eagles flying down the Delaware River, which was really cool. Got to do that. Went back, came back home. My Uncle Fuzzy died in Virginia Beach. I went to Virginia Beach. I came back. I had to go back to the Poconos, and then I flew to Disney to do something for.
And this is in 3 days, right?
No, it's like literally like a week, 10 days, something like this.
Oh my gosh.
I fly back to Orlando to do this thing.
I was making a joke and it was real.
Yeah, where I stood on the racetrack at Disney at the ESPN place, and IndyCar drivers like buzzed me while I was on the track, which was really scary.
Because they're going what, 200 miles an hour?
They weren't going that fast there because it was a small track, but it was still pretty scary. And then I came back, and I think I had to go back to. I went to New Mexico or someplace crazy, and I got back home, and I'm like coming home from the airport, and I'm like, man, I am tired, and
weird.
Yeah, it was just exhausted. And my wife, I can just remember she's laying on the couch, and she's pregnant for CJ, my oldest son, and we're talking, and I was like, man, I think I want to quit my job. I can't keep up this pace. And it wasn't even, I mean, literally the next day, like on Saturday, we get a call from the school that Tammy's teaching at, and she just a couple things were made, and I got offered a teaching job, and I literally walked in the school and I started teaching. I taught 7th and 8th graders. I had 25 guitars and 25 Mac computers, and I started teaching. I taught for like 7 years straight then.
And you didn't have a teaching degree?
No, that's a whole different story. Yeah. But that was just favor. It was just God. It was literally, I can just, the education system was trumped by what God wanted to do. And it wasn't even just a couple days later, I get a call on my cell phone that I need to return, to my boss. And I get a call, like the last call I got on that, I got a call from a pastor at a church that we'd been going to. And he said, hey, I was given your name as an idea, and maybe you want to be a youth pastor. And literally, it's just like I went from the video business into ministry and teaching just within hours.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah, it was really, it was neat.
That's not coincidence.
No, it's not. It wasn't at all. I mean, it was like just really, really cool. I mean, it was just what I needed and what we needed. And that was our good, ministry and teaching was perfect to start a family with. Yeah. It was way better than
flying all over everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. And
driving for hours and hours and
hours.
Yeah,
it was tough. It was great during the summer. Tammy got to go with me and stuff like that. It was great. Lots of experiences, got to see lots of things, got to do a lot of things that I may never have been able to financially afford until I started making this $700,000
a week,
week or whatever it is. I don't want to brag. We just
it's
like every 8 or 9 days.
So this is why he just flew in from France directly to here. He landed his private helicopter back behind the.
I did.
Wait, why are we changing? And then he drove his Ferrari.
Every time I'm changing the story so that it just gets more inflated each.
Okay.
Each iteration.
Yeah, it's
funnier if you don't have to explain the joke, James.
Yeah. Well, I'm explaining the joke now.
You're good.
And hopefully her gold tooth looks good. The lady that
Yeah.
Entourage. I don't know if we're allowed to say that. Are
Get
we allowed
out
to say
again,
gold
come
tooth and
on.
Striker? Can you talk
Gold
about
tooth?
gold teeth and Striker?
I mean, there's
Can
a
you
lot
get
of
a
people,
grill up in here?
There's a lot of people who don't even have teeth here in Stryker.
Really?
They probably
No,
go to those
yes,
like 50
actually.
cent turnkey things, and you get the little
The Bubba teeth?
the Bubba teeth, and then they put those in place of dentures because they can't.
There's some pretty. I'm a plumber. I say that literally every podcast now. I've been to some pretty sick, like wicked sick houses.
I bet.
wealthy houses.
Yeah,
you
people
mean.
that can afford like grills with encrusted diamonds.
And then I've been to some actually sick houses.
pretty sick malaria houses.
Yeah, malaria sick houses.
yeah.
You walk in.
Well, I have cancer now. Insta cancer. So you went from that, and then where are you living at this point? You're still in Indiana.
I'm in Indiana. Yeah, we're living in Indiana. And we stay there. I mean, literally living in Fort Wayne. We're real close to work and church and all that stuff. And I'm ministering at that church for a couple years, and they got a new pastor, and we moved to another ministry with some friends and started a church, and I kept on.
So you were in ministry for how long? Like,
but I think about 17 years.
17
I'm really,
years?
really bad on years. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
I'm not.
well, you told us 10 days, and it sounded about like 3 months.
Yeah.
So I can see why
It
your,
is.
your idea of time is really.
We have
warped.
this whole problem. Everyone. It's like someone asks how old I am, and everyone in my family answers for me because they just know I don't even know. I don't care. I think we're the same. Were we about the same age? I think.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, something.
I think you're just a little
I
older.
met
You're
you-
about 30.
Yeah, 30.
He's lucky
Yeah.
because he can actually grow facial hair at 18. He's 18. And
It's-
he's got
it
a,
It is.
he's got
It
a
is.
full beard. It's
I do.
crazy.
I
He
do.
did ministry for 17 years, but
Yes,
he's 18.
Yeah, he started when he was 1 year old. I'm just changing his life story every possible chance that I get.
He also is good friends with Elon Musk, and actually, he came here through a bore and just bored up through the ground.
With his flamethrower, he was getting rid of the mosquitoes in our yard.
They really had someone else scheduled, but I violently took this seat over
Exactly.
with my flamethrower.
Mainly because the
Yeah,
SpaceX shuttle crash landed in our backyard, and he was the pilot. Weird.
I did buy gasoline at a Pilot gas station today.
There we go.
Yeah, so
That's-
there's some
which is-
truth in this.
Basically the same thing as
As being
jet
a pilot.
fuel.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, you're right. Kenny was on your show the other day.
He was on our show.
He did something pretty
So
spectacular.
if you haven't seen our episode, Kenny Williams came on our show, and he's a barber / MMA fighter / barber. I said that twice.
primarily a barber.
Primarily
and
a barber, but he used to do MMA and all sorts of things. And he did something that was kind of interesting. If you go on our Instagram, you can see just the clip, or if you want to watch the episode, he ripped the top of a can with his teeth, like that, but with a pop can.
So
wow, James, so metal.
I'm so metal, I'm so paper.
So here's the thing. He's a pretty tough guy. We're about the same size.
Yep, yeah.
Most if you know us, that's. I mean, literally, we
Kenny Williams and
You
Chris
guys
are
get
about the same
mistaken for
size.
each other all the time.
really we do. And
Sometimes I've shown up to your house to get my hair cut, and I go, "This is dumb. I was supposed to go to Kenny's today."
yeah, and I get out the Flowbee vacuum cutter and
That explains my haircut currently.
and take care of you. He doesn't, and he falls for it every time.
Yeah.
And then yeah. So anyway,
But anyways,
so
you told
anyway,
me you had a special.
I
trip.
did. It's honestly, I don't want to make Kenny feel bad
Okay.
because I know he's a tough, sensitive guy.
He is. He's very tough and very sensitive.
But here's the
I see him
deal.
cry all the time.
Yeah, he does. He does cry a lot. But so this is probably going to be better for the video crowd. The
So
millions over here. So I'm going to rip the end off of this whatchamacallit with my bare teeth.
all right.
All right.
So he has.
It's a
he's,
whatchamacallit.
He's a whatchamacallit?
It's a
He's a
whatchamacallit.
representative.
Sponsored by whatchamacallit. So
Or
are you
is
ready
it-
for this?
All right, here we go.
All right. Kenny, don't feel jealous. Okay.
What,
This is so metal.
dude?
Chocolate, just like that.
Dude,
All right.
that was.
I can't do that.
I need that wrapper to hang on our wall.
You can have that. You can have the whole candy bar. Have you ever eat one of these?
We should just put the. we should just spike the candy bar
At one point,
to the wall.
I did live in a place in college that had a piece of pizza nailed to the wall that was there. I did. It was nailed right through a pepperoni slice.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That was a good trick. I'm gonna have to. Yeah,
We can. You know what? Sam will eat the candy bar.
Sam.
I don't know. I've never had a whatchamacallit.
Have a whatchamacallit.
It's like a
Made
generic
with chocolate, peanut flavored crisp, and caramel.
It's basically a chocolate covered Rice Krispie treat, but made with the Rice Krispie stuff from the Dollar General.
That was
not
impressive.
their good stuff.
You know what it tastes like?
I love that you're just chewing directly into the mic.
Yeah.
I'm doing that on purpose.
I don't think you are.
I am. Have you ever had the protein bars from Gatorade? Same exact thing, just thicker.
But you know, whatchamacallit is actually healthier.
Probably.
It is. So that goes out to you, Kenny Williams. You started a tradition.
He did. Now everybody else who's on the podcast has ripped something off with their
If
teeth.
you're on the podcast, you have to show up, Kenny.
Yeah.
And now you have to show up,
Chris.
Chris.
Yes.
Who showed up, Kenny?
Yeah. You know.
So
Get some.
now you were talking to us before the podcast. And
you guys
were
do
talking
have a
about,
dental plan, right? I think I.
No, you do with your own
Okay,
trash.
all right,
You
all
can
right.
get another gold tooth.
Okay, gotcha. All right, cool. I like it.
But so just tell us. You were telling us about your week before. So then let's continue a little bit
Oh,
further.
yeah.
So you went from that ministry to the other ministry, and then you worked for the Ridge Project for a while.
Yeah, I did that. So I did ministry for a lot of years. We actually ended up moving to Nashville, Indiana. It's a little town.
Nashville,
Indiana. You have to
Indiana.
say that.
Indiana.
Which is a really cool little town.
I've been
Well,
to Florida, Ohio,
Ohio.
Yeah.
and actual.
To be fair, there was a woman in Florida, Ohio, who found mobster money in her walls, and now she has like $1 billion.
Sick.
So, I mean, there's good things about Florida, Ohio, and the 10 people that live there.
You know what? Florida, Ohio, you're all right. Let's leave it at that.
As a plumber, no, but
You know,
I don't know enough about him to judge him.
so you moved to Nashville.
so I moved
Indiana.
I moved to Nashville, Indiana, and continued ministry there. And then from there, our next trip was my wife. So Tammy, you know, okay, this kind of might help figure out why we make some of the decisions we do and why we've made some of the choices we had. So Tammy and I have this what we call the 96 rule. So when we're making decisions in life, we say, okay, if we make it to 96 years old and we look back, will we make the same decision?
Ooh.
You know, so we've got this 96 rule we live at. So Tammy's dad is ill at the time. He's got cancer. He's he's right at around 80. And again, you know, I'm bad with ages, but he's up there a little bit. And
He's between 18 and 80.
he is. And we are like, you know what, we can stay living down here and be 3 or 4 hours away, and you can see your dad once a month, or we can move a little closer and see him anytime you want to. And you filter that through the 96 rule, and you obviously move. So
because you need to spend time.
Yeah, exactly. So we looked around, and I tried to find a whatchamacallit. It's addictive.
I haven't had any yet.
They are not that bad.
No, they sell them at the Strecker gas station because I planned way ahead for that.
Welcome to our ASMR channel.
Anyway,
Wash the mic now.
the 96 rule is brings us to Northwest Ohio. I literally can't find a job in the ministry at anything that I thought was a good fit, and literally took a job with Menards. I walked into Menards and ended up transferred to Defiance, Ohio, which ended up being a blessing because it put my wife right down the road from Fort Wayne to see her dad. So I'm in Defiance.
You're in Defiance.
Yeah, I'm working at the Ridge Project.
Okay.
And
Which doesn't make any sense because you're driving like an hour.
oh yeah, it's crazy. I'm driving to Marion, from Defiance to Marion, Ohio, or to Mansfield, Ohio, or
And then McClure.
then McClure. Everything starts with an M.
Yeah.
With the Ridge Project, I guess.
Mohio.
I go to Ohio. I actually was in Maryland a lot. Anyway, you know something I have watched though. I thought that was pretty cool. Have you seen the Carbonaro Effect? Have you watched that?
No.
That's
I know
on.
nothing
It's
about
on
that.
so okay. So it's this guy that he goes into stores. He's a magician or illusionist or whatever you want to call it, whatever is biblically correct there. And he always acts like he's the guy behind the counter, and he messes with people. It's a good Netflix thing.
Okay.
If anyone still has Netflix and MySpace are about the same thing anymore, right?
Not quite.
No,
Netflix is still relevant right now.
No, okay, but it's on its way.
It's on its way out. I watched a video on why it's going away, and it's because they are ridiculously deep in debt.
I can see that.
Right, but the thing is, there will be a Netflix too. Like it's not going to be Netflix, but
It's
there's
gonna be
always
Disney.
going to be another streaming service.
It's going to be Disney. Do you know why?
Disney,
Have you watched the
dude.
new... Dude, Disney's going to be
Disney
awesome.
is going to take over the world with their
For
streaming service.
$12.99, you get television through Disney, and you get all of the Disney... anything Disney.
All the Star Wars movies, all the new Star Wars TV series.
wow.
That's all I care about with Disney. Disney Star Wars, and Star Wars.
And it comes with counseling.
Yeah, and
Afterwards.
Marvel, all the Marvel movies too. So that's, a
It's not
benefit.
bad. It's cool. Yeah, Netflix was important. I mean,
Netflix
they
was
really
very important.
they
killed Blockbuster.
They did.
Remember when Netflix was a DVD in the mail,
Oh, yeah.
and then you didn't get DVD number 2 until you sent DVD number 1?
I still have
back.
a Netflix DVD from that because you could keep them forever,
Right.
and I did. It's. I think it's like the first season of Psych.
Yes.
I have that. So
It's collector's item now.
okay. Speaking of movies, okay, so I've always been kind of thought Family Video did a good job with customer service going in there, but I'm not sure about them now. It's like I'm realizing as I've been driving around for work and stuff a little bit,
They are shutting down.
they're selling CBD oil. That's what
Oh, that's right.
That's what they're trying to rescue themselves with. That's interesting. In
I don't
some
think
ways.
I knew that.
I noticed that in Toledo, I think was
Yeah, every one of them, it's got its sign out front, just a little white sign that they.
hey guys, you want to go get a movie?
It just
and
says CBD on it, unless it's something different. But I'm assuming it's the marijuana oil.
cool basic DVDs.
That
Oil.
hurt me physically.
I was trying to think of another spontaneous acronym and it didn't work.
I noticed it hurt physically.
All right, so back to Mafiance, Ohio.
Yes, good old Mahiance, Ohio.
The Mojave Desert. Yes.
We're never going to get anywhere with this, but that's
It's
okay.
okay.
It could be mercury
I'm not even
poisoning.
mad. Mercury poisoning.
What was in that much of a call it?
Well, he's been sucking mercury from the light bulbs. He's been smashing them.
That's
and
right,
drinking
that's
them
right.
down.
This is crazy. It costs $1,200 to get rid of a skid of light bulbs to recycle them.
Okay, so let's preface this.
Yeah, no, it's random, but
It's not random because he is actually an electrician who makes $700,000 a year. Not at all, but
no.
it's actually closer to $1 million.
Right.
But he is actually a subcontractor electrician.
Yep, that's what.
And you started that how long ago?
Just in January.
Just in January.
Yeah, exactly. Just in January. So,
And
don't hire me. Don't trust me. I don't have enough experience.
no, he definitely doesn't. He definitely has not worked at a
Seriously,
Macy's and saved
I
him
got my
$8,000 a month.
I got my degree from the University of Guam online.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty easy to do. It was only like $79. Everything you need. I actually went ahead and got my optometry degree there too.
You're doing someone's like house electricity.
And I take care of their eyes.
I see you're wearing glasses. Can
Yeah.
I look at those?
Can I help you with that glaucoma?
Yeah.
If I can't, go
You just
over to
go-
Family Video.
You just go to I'm going to check your glaucoma.
That's the worst. Isn't that the worst test? The
Mine-
it's scary.
You know what's better?
It's
worse,
just a
though?
puff of air, and it's the scariest thing ever. It's like
My eye
rats.
doctor doesn't do
or
that
something.
anymore. So what they do is they numb your eye, and then they bring a little ring light in, and they just ever so slightly touch your eye, and somehow that's able to test the pressure within your eye.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's worse or better.
I don't either.
Way worse because then your eye falls out because it's numb.
You're just watching like, and then it goes into your eye.
Yeah.
Something I had a weird thought about the other day is something can go through your eyelid.
That is a weird thought.
Think about that. Like something, like because I was grinding something and something came off and I blinked and I closed my eyes
Yeah.
and it deflected whatever it was. But I was like,
Well, that could actually go through there.
that's not a very.
So just the other
And
day,
think about that. If it goes through and sticks to your eye, you can't open or shut your eye.
unless it cuts through your eyelid. Just the other day, I was actually doing some model making, and I was using an interchangeable blade X-Acto knife, so it's got the really small like model tip blades, and I must have just pressed at the ever so slightest wrong angle, so it snapped the entirety of the blade off at the base of the handle, and it flew up and it bounced off of my glasses. So I realized, like, if I was wearing contacts or I wasn't wearing glasses for whatever reason, a razor blade would have bounced into my eye. Whether or not it would have, been the sharp edge or not, a razor blade was flying straight at my,
That's not.
So Take example from that, kids. Don't do modeling. It's really nerdy.
Exactly.
It's true.
You might lose an eye.
You might lose your eye modeling.
So let's take a poll. Who thinks Sam's the brunt of the jokes on this episode?
Okay, so talking about T-shirts and a nightstand. Okay, okay. So I'm in Tazewell, Tennessee, and I buy this T-shirt at the store, and I love it because it's just a lamp sitting on a stand. Yeah. So I bought this T-shirt in Tennessee, Tazewell, Tennessee. And I like it. It's like real silky. It's bamboo. It's like really, really nice feeling. And it's got this lamp on the thing of it, and it says 1 at the bottom. I think it's the coolest shirt ever. I go into Menards wearing this shirt on a Thursday after I wore it on a Wednesday night because I didn't sweat much at church, so I wore the same shirt. I go in there, and the checkout guy goes, "I've been looking everywhere for one of those shirts." I go, he goes, literally, "Can I buy it from you? I want that shirt so bad." And I go, "Why would you want this shirt? It's just got a lamp and it says 1 on it." He goes, "It says 1 night stand." I was wearing a I had no idea. It was a nightstand with a lamp on it. And I wore it to preach on a Wednesday night. I just had no idea I was wearing such a stupid shirt.
You just thought it was funny.
I did. I just thought it was a cool shirt with a lamp on it. It was brown with yellow on it and a yellow lamp and a one night stand. And I'm wearing it to church. So I end up going and buying a roll of duct tape and putting a duct tape over the 1. So it was just a lamp stand then. But oh man,
that is
Did you
really
sell it to that
funny.
guy?
No, I should have sold it to him. But the problem is
Then he wouldn't have had a shirt.
no shirt, no service at Menards.
Yeah.
And especially when you're as ripped as I am, you really don't want to go through Menards. It's about same reason why James didn't get hired at Menards.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, so yeah, exactly, just too cute. So anyway, that was another story.
Oh, Menards.
man.
So
Okay. So you talked about what you have going on this week. You're gonna go shoot some people with cameras. You're gonna go work tomorrow.
right.
You're not wearing your cast.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
you broke your foot.
Yeah, I broke my foot. I am wearing a work boot.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
I don't think
honestly
the doctors
medically
would think that would count.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Sam, what do you think? I trust whatever you say.
As a WebMD doctor, I think that is it. I think that is a fair and accurate, healthy
plumber.
option.
I am wearing a thick sock also.
That does elevate the importance and necessity of structure for your foot.
So here's the thing. Kenny was here. He was in a cast, right?
Yeah.
Okay. He ripped a lid off of a can with his bare teeth. I have a broken foot. I'm not wearing a cast, and I ripped off the top off of a whatchamacallit. I'm just saying. It may just be I'm tougher.
You're right. You might be.
Get on his level, Kenny. I mean,
come on, man. If you watch this, get on his level.
I love Kenny.
I don't know. You're busy. You're a busy guy.
No, it's okay. It's not
so
that.
take us through your week. What did you do Monday?
So Monday, I brushed my teeth.
It's an all-day affair.
Good hygiene.
It is. I flossed.
It takes at least a couple hours.
Yeah, it does. It takes a couple hours.
Per tooth.
Actually, Monday I worked at a Hampton Inn wiring hotel rooms.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. I've got a job where I'm doing 100 hotel rooms, which is pretty fun because I get to hire a bunch of people. Like homeschool kids, and it's really cool to get to do that. I'm working in Fort Wayne, so I got a little bit of a commute. So I did that. Tuesday I brushed my teeth.
Yep.
And
Couple hours.
Wednesday I can't remember if I did or didn't brush my teeth, but. And
we'll forgive you for that one.
Yeah,
you get a pass.
Yeah, I don't even know what day this is. I think it's Thursday.
Like
yeah, and
it's trash day.
It's trash day. No, my trash day is Tuesday, and then I'll end up the week working for Saturday. I'm doing this photo gig for the World Baseball Academy, which is pretty cool. So
that's really cool.
Yeah, it's a fundraiser for restoring baseball in the inner city. So it's kind of like baseball is dying in the inner city a little bit. It just kids just don't know about it. They don't know the sport. So it's this RBI program. So we're getting to have dinner on the baseball diamond in Fort Wayne.
That's awesome.
Done by a chef. There's going to be live music, like an auction with a bunch of sports memorabilia and stuff like that. And I get to invite people to come. So I had like 10 friends coming to hang out.
That's awesome.
That's really cool.
So it's pretty cool. And just take pictures and everyone else gets to eat and watch me work, and it won't be bad though. It's something I've done I think it's my 4th year shooting that, so it's pretty fun.
Really cool.
Yeah, and my son CJ is going to be a waiter and get to serve people, and it's a pretty cool thing. Yeah.
Really
And then Monday I'll brush my teeth and go back to work.
There we go.
I love doing it. It's cool, that I'm been blessed to be able to not have to do the same thing every day. I mean, it really is cool. It's been a good life for that reason. It really has. And
you seem like you have to have something going on.
I do.
You like to relax, but you always have to have something going on.
It's like we do our days, and then we get home and we eat and we settle down and we burn out some series on Hulu or Netflix or whatever we got going on. And
now here's the real question: do you pay for Netflix and or Hulu?
I honestly do. I do. I pay for it.
So who uses you?
Yeah, exactly. I've got my nephews that live in Butler, Indiana, are pirating our Netflix. Yep. So
I'm pirate. Well, we're paying for the extra screen.
Yeah,
but we kind of pirate the in-laws Netflix.
It's tough. I'm a Colts fan, so we can't get football. So I'm like, I fell for that trap of trying to buy CBS, and now I realize that they don't show the games, even though they say they do.
Yep.
And so every Sunday, I finally, I think, hooked up an antenna. I bought an antenna.
YouTube TV does a pretty good job too.
Do they? I have to check that out. Is that on the internet? The www thing? Okay. All right, I'll check that out.
The real question is: Community, The Office, Parks and Rec.
Ooh. Okay. So
if you've watched those three
shows. I would say having a son at Northwest State. Okay, so Community has been something that it cracks me up.
Comment down in the YouTube comments.
Yeah.
Or just emails.
Okay. So I'd have to rank those in order of Office, Community, Parks and Rec. But the thing about it is this: I would say that there's something so, I don't know. It's almost like Community. I've felt like I've lived bits and pieces of that life.
Yeah.
So it makes sense to me. It seems real to me. The Office doesn't as much, but I really do. I appreciate the humor of both of those a lot. And Parks and Rec, I've not watched a lot. I've watched some of it. My wife watches it more than I do, but I get up early, so.
I think personally, my ranking is going to offend a lot of people. Parks and Rec, and then The Office. And I've never seen Community.
Dude, you would love Community.
That's what I've heard.
It's Northwest State.
It is literally Northwest State.
It is. It's Northwest State. Which
doesn't matter.
Which is located in Marchbold.
Right. It's Northwest State.
Oh, I always say that wrong.
Yeah, it's okay. It's a common mistake.
It is. It's hard because their logo is an N and it's Northwest.
So,
how am I going to do this?
No, I think Community honestly is probably my favorite.
I love it because they, it's like the Nerf war or the tent part where where
the zombie episode.
Yeah, or they make the blanket tents and
what I noticed is that not every episode, but a number of the episodes are actually meta parodies of popular movies.
Oh, absolutely.
So the first thing that we do is I sit down with my wife and we're watching it, and my first thing is to beat her to guessing what movie it's based on. Like, oh, that's what was one of the more recent ones we watched was a ripoff of
Toy Story.
No, it was a ripoff of the Good Will Hunting. So like, that's Good Will Hunting. He was the one guy. It's like, James, you'd like it. The guy is destined to be a masterful plumber.
Yeah,
but he's hiding from his true passion.
I've never seen Good Will Hunting. I don't watch a lot of I've never seen Of Mice and Men. I've never seen
that. I've read it.
I guess classics. I've never seen any classics, and I never see any movies that people quote from.
Yeah, it is.
What a hipster.
It's not on purpose, and I purposely avoid Marvel movies because they're all the same. I'm going to get hate for that. Maybe.
That's why I watched them once.
I think the good thing about it is I'm glad everyone doesn't like the same things.
No, everyone needs to like exactly the same thing.
One thing I will say about that I think about Community that's interesting is that it kind of makes this existence of some people would call apathy with goals and things like that it actually makes it where it's okay to be in a trade or it's actually honorable or whatever. So I think that's kind of cool. And then and there's just some trippy weird stuff in there too that makes you think that you just left a Grateful Dead concert.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us on this I don't know what it is. This internet radio show.
This modcast is Mava.
You can check us out on Facebook and Instagram for updates on what's going on the podcast and pictures of the week and who's going to be on. You can message us on Facebook, Instagram, or email us at thispodcastislava@gmail.com with any questions, topics, or if you even want to be on the podcast. You can listen to us on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, and PodBean, and you can watch our absolutely interesting faces on YouTube.
Yeah, and they serve room temperature water in a red Solo cup.
Yeah,
it's worth it.
That was what. So every guest we have on, I ask if they have anything specific. Our last guest wanted cherry cherry Diet Pepsi, and so that was what he got. And I asked Chris, and he said, I know this is going to come really high maintenance, but he needs room temperature water in a plastic cup. So we came through.
They did, and to be honest with you, I feel really guilty about the expense.
I know
but
it was expensive. So thank you so much for joining us. Have a wonderful morning, noon, or night.
Good night.
me love you.